Do you ever worry, as I do, that there might be some cosmic director behind the scenes of our everyday life? Now, I don't mean God. I mean someone who's setting up the world as a crazier and crazier reality television show by the day. A Mad Hatter type with keys to the production of our existence, putting us increasingly obnoxious and yet hilarious situations for the viewing pleasure of the denizens of some distant planet catching our satellite signals. I don't know. Maybe we're, in that pod. Right now, our entire American way of life is betwixt the fingers and at the tender mercies of a man who is so barely alive he thinks watching TikTok means keeping an eye on the death clock, and that's tragically funny enough, but he also apparently watches the real thing because he claims to watch Days of Girlhood. Okay. Now, if you're not familiar with this particular TikTok gem, Days of Girlhood is an online diary chronicling the comings and goings of the besausaged female aspirant Dylan Mulvaney, emphasis on the veiny, if you catch my drift. I'm saying she's got a dick. Now, our illustrious mentally ill Presidente apparently not only watches Dylan's TikTok show between reruns of Matlock and trips to the bathroom to drop a Metamucil-fueled dump, but he, in fact, invited this dudette with a dong to the White House, whereupon he gave him an interview and a cookie. Now, watch this. Chris, can you show the video, please?
It's day 222 of being a girl. I'm in Washington, D.C., and I'm going to the White House to speak to the President of the United States! And y'all are obviously wondering what I'm gonna wear to meet the President. Here you go. It's the trans flag colors. The President of the United States gave me a cookie. He gave me a cookie in the Oval Office. Now here's the question. Do I eat it or do I save it? It has a seal. The fact that our president has watched Days of Girlhood, it's kind of epic.
Now, okay. First thing I want to know is, how do you get a cookie from the president? All right. How do you get a cookie from Joe Biden? Did you have to let him smell your hair? And if so, did it smell like aqua velva? Folks, if you can't see right now, this dude looks like Ben Shapiro in a wig. And judging by what he's wearing, he's trying to revive the days of Murphy Brown. That was a TV show, kids. I don't know. Here's what's especially interesting to me. Biden has given the fewest number of interviews of any president in decades. For the first year of his presidency, he only gave 28 total. That's about 1/8 of the number Barack Obama gave in his first year and 1/5 of the interviews Trump did in his first year. For 220 days of this year, I'm going to repeat that, 220 days of this year, Joe Biden did not do a single interview with a TV journalist, not one, which is unheard of in this modern age. Yet he sat down with this Pinocchio of queer folkio whose only aspiration is to be a real girl. Why? The answer is pretty simple, and we'll get into how the interview went here in a minute, but the basic nuts and bolts boils down to this: Biden loves softball questions. If you pay attention to the way the man speaks, especially when he's being interviewed, almost all of his answers are generic, full of poorly delivered metaphors and witticisms, tired old saws that were old before he was, and catchphrases which are no doubt easy to remember. For God's sake, when the man does do television interviews, he falls asleep halfway through them. So what's easier than having to answer hard questions about the economy or the nation's potential for entering global nuclear war, whether or not states should have the right to cut your dong off? Joe Biden is a wind-up toy. Pull his string, point him in the direction you want him to go, and then watch him find a way to screw even that up. It would be funny if it wasn't so damn sad.